Whatever questions that are going through my emails, I read a whole different bunch of them, and most of them reflect around bullying, self-esteem issues, makeup, or whatever the case may be. I'm Cee-Cee LaRouge Monroe, and this is another episode of Ask Cee-Cee, where I answer your questions that you send via email. You can send it right here at ceecelarouge@gmail.com. So let's get started. Okay, now guys, before I get into any of these emails whatsoever, let me just remind you, if you are looking into seeing how I have gotten this beautiful mug on, which I know that you're excited about it because I know I am, I look beautiful. Make sure that you tune in to Facebook up on my Cee-Cee LaRouge Monroe page, and you'll be able to find out all of the information up on there, because this is a full face of Makeup Maniacs Cosmetics. And if you would like to purchase your own cosmetics, make sure you go to www.makeupmaniacs.com and use promo code Cee-Cee to save some money up on your purchase, honey. So let's get started up on these damn emails, because honey, I is tired, and I've had this face on too long, and I'm hungry, and I need some coffee, and I'm tired. So with that said, let's get started. Christina says, Cee-Cee, I watch anytime I can when you're live and love it. I'm curious if you have any favorite self-esteem boosting quotes you'd be willing to share. My 16, almost 17-year-old daughter has had serious bullying issues at school since the 5th grade. She's self-harmed and attempted suicide over the last 5 years due to it. Trust me, she's been hospitalized, is in therapy, etc. She loves watching you for makeup tutorials. Her birthday is October 14th. If that's not something you're comfortable doing, I completely understand. We are planning on sending her multiple messages with these quotes throughout the day to keep her spirits high. She's going to be navigating through some tough situations in the next week or so. Her birthday party has been canceled due to the bullying, and she's not attending homecoming now. It truly breaks my heart. Hashtag her story isn't over yet. Well, honey, some of the quotes of what I use on a daily basis is, the more you love yourself, the less nonsense you'll tolerate. I'm going to say that again. The more you love yourself, the less nonsense you'll tolerate. Think about that one. And here's another one. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. I'm going to say that one more time. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. One of the hardest things to go through as being a teenager, especially going through school and in societal situations, is bullying. However, it takes a strong person to have a stone wall to not get hit by all of those words. And again, words only have power if you give it to them. Remember that. Once you actually start loving yourself and actually appreciating the body that you're in, start loving your flaws and all, you will understand that you can actually take on anything in the world, no matter what life throws at you. And trust me, life is already shitty enough when we pay taxes. So next question. Tanya says, you're the best, you're beautiful, I love your makeup, hope you have a great night. Thanks, Tanya, I really appreciate that so much. I work a lot of hours and many years trying to perfect this face, and I still don't think I've ever reached perfection. But you know what? I think that's the fun part about it. It's always striving for better. Next question. Anonymous says, this is not an advice question, but I would like for you to read out loud. I think you're an amazing person. You have given me great advice. Every time I have asked, so many people have admired you, and it's for good reason. You're just great. Thank you for helping me. This is Roxana, and this is my family. So that's her email. Thank you so much, Roxana. I love you so much. Okay, so this is from Anonymous. And Anonymous says, hi, Cee-Cee. So I'm going to try to make this not so confusing, but I'd like to know your advice on this. So I dated this guy 7 years ago. We dated maybe 6 months, but within that 6 months, he got very close with my family to the point my aunt calls him his nephew. Well, when he broke up with me, I took it very hard and asked my family to please delete him and lose contact with him. Well, they tell me they couldn't because they really care about him, so there's that. He's always around at family gatherings, and I had no choice but to be there. I moved on and dated someone else maybe 3 years after, and I mentioned to him that this guy in our family is actually my ex. I felt it was the biggest mistake I ever made by mentioning that I dated him, because this person I was dating swore I go back to him. He even tried fighting him at the family parties. It was such drama, of course. That relationship didn't last and ended it. Well, I'm in a happy relationship now with my boyfriend, 3 years strong, 2 kids. He's an amazing man, and he's asked me who this guy was and why he's so close to the family, and I just told him he's a family friend. because I don't want to avoid drama like I had with my other ex. Is it wrong of me for not telling him that he's my ex and he's still in the family? We're completely done and no feelings at all are between us, but some days I question myself if I should tell him. I hope you can kind of put it together. Sorry if it confuses you. Well, Anonymous, I think that you should actually tell him everything about this situation and just be honest with him. I think that if he loves you, and again, 3 years strong, 2 kids later, I think he's in it for the long run, don't you think? So my suggestion would be to tell him everything that is going on and just be like, look, he's a family friend, but he was my ex. So just to let you know, there ain't nothing between us. But because of that fact alone, the other person couldn't take it because, he thought that I was still fucking him, which I'm not. But it's always best to be honest with him. Don't fuck up a relationship just by being dishonest. Honesty is the key here. Next question. Jamie says, contacts make me look like a lizard, so excuse them. But I really love makeup and have been getting more and more into it lately. But as you can see, my eyebrows are horrible, honey. They are too far apart and they grow down in the front really weird. Any tips on how to draw them on and fill them in so I will have decent brows? Also, in your honest opinion, does this makeup look okay? I know it's a more natural, neutral look with bland colors, but just want to hear your opinion. I know you'll tell me if I look a mess. LOL, have a good night. Okay, girl, let's see what we got here. Beautiful makeup. It's very nice. It's very neutral. I would probably add a little bit blush here just to like highlight your rosy cheeks. It looks like you got really good cheekbones. It looks great, great hairline. Now about your brows. Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about those. So here's a great tip when it comes to eyebrows. You always want to start right at the bridge of your nose. And it's usually right here. You can't move this brush or you can't move this stick up or down. That's usually where your eyebrows should start. I always start them just a little bit higher. And you can do that, of course, as long as they're even. So you can tell my eyebrows are not really even. They're sisters, not twins, forgive me. But usually the best part is, or like your starting point is, just bring your brow right here. That's the start of it. So you may want to make a note of it. This is where they should be, okay? Then when you start your brow, it should be right this close, right along the bridge of your nose. You don't want to push the brush in there. Just put it right there so that you can see that that's the beginning of the line. When you go to a 2 o'clock up on the clock, you think of it as like hands of a clock. When you bring it here, that's where the arch is, okay? Then when you go towards the corner of your eye and just lay it flat, where it just goes right at the bottom of your nostril right here, as you can see, that's where your eyebrow should end. Bam! See that? So it starts from here, then to here, which usually crosses your pupil, right about there, then to here. And that's where your eyebrows end. That's a really good pointer to use out, especially if you don't know how to fill them in. So just fill them in lightly, use a brow brush. You can use the Makeup Maniac's What's Up Brow, which is a brow dip, and you can just paint it on up on a little brush, kind of like this. This is like a little lip brush. I'll sometimes use it for eyebrows for people who have brows. I don't have brows. But this is actually good to use, and just start filling them in. Take an eyebrow brush, use, of course, the brush part, and then just start filling it in. All of the pigment that you did put up on the brow earlier, we'll just start blending it in real nicely. Keep it nice and even and stuff like that. Have it fade out right close to here so that way it looks, nice and pretty. It doesn't look blocky and shit like that. So enjoy that. Take your time. It takes practice. I'll let you know, if you practice up on this, you'll be fine. Just gotta practice, babe. So hope that helps. Next question. Emily says, I love watching your videos. You're so real and I love it. I love everything you do and how you don't care what others think. I have a question. Currently, I was craving ice cream. We have an ice cream truck that drives down our street between 6 and 8:30. Well, I missed them. So I told my husband that he should go down in the driveway and wave them down. He wouldn't do it, so I did. I heard our neighbor call us dumb white people, crazy and a fatty. Is that fair all over ice cream? Maybe they're mad they didn't have cash for the guy. Anyways, I feel like that was very judgmental and rude all over ice cream. What do you think? Yes, girl. That was some rude shit. But guess what? Pay them no mind, baby. They're not the ones who are feeding you, fucking you, or financing you. Just saying. Next question. Anonymous says, I have a question I would love your opinion on. My best friend recently told me that she has found her husband wearing makeup, high heels, negligees, bra, and panties. He then walks around the house acting like he is the wife. She is convinced he has mental issues. I personally think he's gay. What is your opinion? There's another word that we call this, or that I call this. I call this a cross-dresser. Now, cross-dressers come from all different walks of life. They can be straight, they can be gay, they can be anywhere in between, but they just like the feeling of women's clothing and they just want to be a woman for a little while. It's a little fantasy that they have, or it could be a fetish that they have. It's many different reasons. He don't have no mental issues, baby. He just likes to wear girly clothes. It's okay. It's all right. No need to judge him harshly for it. Just know that he's your husband and you should love him regardless. You know, wedding vows say for better, for worse. Well, guess what, girl? You better share your Revlon lipstick. Next question. Haley says, hi, Cee-Cee. I just wanted to tell you from the bottom of my heart that I love you and everyone for always giving me advice when I need it and also for kicking my ass when I need it too. I have learned a lot from everyone and I'm listening and also doing what you all have been telling me to do. I also want to tell you that if it wasn't for you and everyone, I literally wouldn't wear makeup or even have lipstick in my purse at all. I used to hate getting ready and getting pretty and such, and now I love it. Thank you from the bottom of my heart and I seriously love you all. Also, my mom and I are going to my college tomorrow to talk to the director about what the next plans are going to be and what classes I will have to take. Even though I am disappointed that I didn't get the math waiver, I will do the class and I will make sure not to complain about it even though it makes me upset. Love you, Cee-Cee. Girl, do it. Getting an education is very important. And to get that degree, girl, got to do the time. Got to do the classes. So quit bitching. Do it. Next question. Amy says, first, thank you for being you. Your laugh is contagious and always brightens my day. Hopefully we are allowed to ask makeup questions. If not, I apologize. It's all good. I've just recently been getting back into makeup. I'm getting better, but struggle with eyeshadow. Here are some looks below that I have done. A very good friend whose makeup is always flawless told me I need to work on blending. Well, needless to say, I'm afraid to blend for fear of raccoon eyes. What do you think? Do I need to blend or do I blend in from in out or out to in? Ooh, let's take a look. Yes, you need to blend. Here's a good blending brush that you can use. This is called the Morphe E17 brush, and this is one of my favorite tapered blending brushes. And as you can see, it's beautiful, and I use it a lot. I actually use this brush today to actually blend my face. So you should go onto Morphe's website and get you some E17, girl. This is a keeper. I love this brush. Feels so soft. It's tapered, so it blends perfectly well. You should get you some. Next question. This is from Anonymous. Anonymous says, first of all, I want to thank you for being a breath of fresh air in this negative world we live in. Here's why I'm writing. My boyfriend of 2 years is still friends with a lot of women from his past. He has had sexual relations with the majority of them. I have accepted his past and do not hold it against him. However, I feel at times he's throwing his past in my face. For example, our Halloween party is coming up and he's invited his ex-girlfriend and her boyfriend. I'm not jealous or in fear that he may get back with her. I'm more confused than anything. I don't understand why he wants her in his life, not only her, but all of the other women. I'm a very private person, I've always been. I keep to myself a lot and I like it this way. So inviting random women who have slept with my boyfriend is weird and annoying to me. Am I overreacting or am I justified in the way I feel? Like I said, I know nothing will happen ever again between them or any other girl he's been with, but it does make me feel I'm not good enough for him. What are your thoughts? Anonymous, not all the time, but sometimes your man will have friends and they can be exes. And just like you will have friends who are exes. It happens. So maybe he has ended the relationships on a positive note and has kept them as friends. You never know. Talk to him and just say, look, it makes me a little uncomfortable, but I want to hear your side of the story and just know what is going on and stuff like that. Now, just to let you know that this may make you come off as being insecure, but you know, there's nothing wrong with you exposing your feelings to your partner. So speak up and say something. I don't really see it as being a problem. I do think that you're overreacting just a little bit. Just a little. But however, I do think you're justified in the way that you feel. Next question. Victoria says, I'll just jump right in. I've raised 5 children. I have 13 wonderful grandbabies. I've been living with a man for 31 years. We have never married. Recently, I've wondered why. So I've asked. The answer I received has me puzzled as fuck. He says I've never earned his last name. Now, I don't know if it's me or what. I raised my children alone, a lot. He was out with the boys for days at a time for many years. For the last 15 years or so, he has drank a lot. I've taken care of him. He got fired from his job in 2010. I started to complain one day after a couple of years that he needed to find work. And he said, well, for years, I worked. You can take care of me. I've done that. I pay rent, I provide food, I wash his clothes, I cook, clean, and provide anything he needs. Now, what I'd like to know is, what do I need to do to earn his last name? I think you know what I'm about to say. First of all, if you've been with him for 31 years and you love him unconditionally and he loves you unconditionally, that should have been enough. Technically, you are common law married. Technically. That's an all technicality. Maybe he wants to sign a prenup. Maybe he doesn't want to deal with all of the divorce issues, but I still find it to be complete and utter bullshit. So, in this case, when we look at relationships, we look at it as a 50-50, I compromise, you compromise, that type of thing. However, sometimes it's not always a 50-50. Sometimes it's 60-40. Sometimes it's 80-20. It's not always going to be even. That's relationships for you. However, if both of you want to stay in this relationship and be with one another, you both have to make the compromise. You'd be like, okay, if you want to get married, let's do it. If you don't want to get married with me not earning your name is not a good enough excuse. That is the most bullshit excuse I've ever heard in my life. Better come up with something better than that. I'm just saying. Next question. Michael says, I live in the South where my mother and brother are. I also have family up north that I would love to be close to. I was offered a job opportunity I will not get here in the South. I am torn because if I move, my mother will be heartbroken. What should I do? Stay or go? Please, please help. Michael, this is a conversation that you and your mother need to have as far as your future is concerned, because this is in regard to your finances, your own future, of how you're actually going to take care of yourself and stuff like that. So have this conversation with your mother. Of course, she's going to be heartbroken that you're leaving the nest, but hey, that's what we do. We're kids. Once we get old enough, we leave our parents' nests. Not all of us, though. My mom still lives with me, which I'm happy for that. So it all depends. Depends on the relationship with your mother. And if you love her that much, I would either suggest just going and then just talking with her about it. Of course, she's going to be supportive in whatever you do, or try finding a similar job in the same locale. It's kind of a hard situation to try to juggle, but I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find out exactly what you need. And that's just my opinion. Next question. Christy says, hi Cee-Cee, love your show. Absolutely beautiful and amazing person. Thank you. So question, I have been with my husband for 20 years. His drunk loser ass brother still lives at home with his parents and doesn't have a job. Never has. And his parents pay for everything for him, food, cigarettes, etc. I started noticing bruises and my mother-in-law, and I know she has been very scared to anger her older son that lives with her, because when he's drunk, he starts arguing and fighting. I don't have full-blown proof, but I believe in my gut he is abusing my in-laws, and they won't admit to it. Please help me to find out how to get this loser out of the house. Thank you so much. Christy, you have to have concrete proof. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is, especially when you're working with law enforcement. You have to have concrete proof. Or, what you can do is get your mother-in-law out of the house. Have her move in with you. Take care of her, get up on her feet so that way she can get another place up on her own. It's a very hard thing to do, and especially with dealing with domestic violence disputes, it's always best to have your receipts. Have your receipts. Get your receipts, because they're indisputable proof. And that's my opinion. Final question. Danny says, hi Cee-Cee, I love you. You're so amazing. My question for you is it possible to do a detailed walkthrough for someone who has never had an issue with needing to do brows? I'm currently going through chemo and losing my hair. I'm new to makeup, trying not to look so sick. I never really needed it before. I know this might be asking a bit much, but thank you for taking the time to read this. Danielle. Well, Danielle, rewind. I've already answered this before, and I'm sure that it'll help you, honey. Try using products that are like eyeliner pencils. You can actually use brow gels. Those work very well. You can get the brow gel by Makeup Maniacs called What's Up Brow. And you can also try Jordana Cosmetics, which are sold at Walgreens. Other good things of what you can use to do your brows. Just follow what I've said earlier. All right, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We have finished all of the emails. I know this was a bit longer, but I wanted to knock all the emails out and also be able to answer them fully, so that way you can get the best answer and advice that I can give. Make sure you tune in every Sunday at 5 o'clock right up on YouTube, where you can catch the next episode of Ask Cee-Cee. Until then, remember, there is always negativity up in this world, and the only way to combat that is with positivity, love, and education. With that said, see ya! Hey y'all, did y'all miss last week's recording of Ask Cee-Cee? Well, don't worry, honey. Just click up on the link right there that you see there, and make sure that you do not forget to subscribe, like, make a comment, and of course, click that bell so that we can get notifications every time when I load something on. Catch you at the next one.